You ever get halfway through a workout, shirt soaked, muscles trembling, lungs on fire, and still feel like something's missing? Not effort. You've got that covered. You show up. You push. You leave everything on the floor. But deep down, when you look in the mirror, or step on the scale, or try on that shirt that used to fit just right, you know it. Something's not clicking. I know that feeling way too well. Back when I thought the key to results was volume. More sets, more reps, more weight, always chasing more. I was exhausted, sore all the time, and somehow still spinning my wheels. I wasn't lazy. I was just stuck in an outdated mindset that the fitness industry keeps feeding us. This idea that fat loss is over here and muscle gain is over there. That you need separate workouts, separate strategies, separate phases. One day for lifting, another day for cardio. And maybe, if you're lucky, you'll get results eventually. If you can stay consistent long enough to see them. But what if that whole approach is flawed? What if your body actually thrives when you stop trying to separate strength and conditioning? What if you could build muscle and burn fat, not in different sessions, but in the same movement? Sounds impossible, right? That's because nobody's showing you how. Everyone's chasing what's flashy, trendy, algorithm-friendly. But the stuff that actually works? The stuff that challenges your entire system, torches calories, demands coordination, and forces muscle growth in the same rep? That stuff's buried, forgotten, ignored. I'm talking about movements that make your grip fail, your lungs beg, and your core scream, all while triggering muscle growth in places you didn't know existed. I'm talking about exercises that use nothing but dumbbells and still hit harder than most machines ever could. And here's the kicker. Almost nobody does them. Why? Because they're uncomfortable. They're awkward at first. They don't make you feel like a superhero on the first rep. They make you question your balance, your control, your patience. But if you can push through that initial resistance, they reward you with faster results, deeper engagement, and more real-world carryover than almost anything else you've tried. This video isn't just a list, it's a reset button. A reintroduction to training that actually respects your time, that forces adaptation, that builds strength, burns fat, improves posture, tightens your core, and tests your mental grit, all in one shot. These movements don't isolate, they integrate. So if you've been feeling stuck, like your workouts are hard but not effective, like the scale won't budge or the pump doesn't last, then you're exactly who this is for. This is the missing link. And I'm about to break it all down. If this is already hitting close to home, hit that subscribe button, because what's coming next might just change the way you train forever. 1. The farmer's carry. Strength, stability, and fat loss in every step. It looks way too simple. Just 2 dumbbells and a walk, right? No explosive reps, no complicated setup, no noise. But the farmer's carry is the kind of movement that humbles you. Fast. Because the second you pick up those weights and try to walk like a statue with purpose, your entire body starts talking back. Your grip starts burning first, like it's trying to convince you to drop the weight. Then your shoulders begin to pulse. Your traps catch fire. Your core locks in like a steel beam. And suddenly, you're 10 steps in and breathing like you just ran stairs. That's not a coincidence. That's full body tension doing its job. See, most workouts train muscle groups. This trains your entire system. It's not just a strength exercise. It's a masterclass in posture, control, and anti-rotation. It teaches your spine to stay upright. It teaches your body to move as one unit. It forces every stabilizer to wake up. You don't just carry the weight, you resist being crushed by it. And this isn't about going heavy just for ego. It's about owning the load. Walking like you're carrying something that matters. That posture, chin neutral, chest proud, ribs down, shoulders pulled back. That's where the transformation begins. Every step you take with intention becomes a rep for your nervous system, a rep for your confidence. The calorie burn? Through the roof. Not because you're running or jumping, but because you're working. You're activating everything at once. Your body's screaming for oxygen. Your grip is failing. Your midsection is doing more than it ever did during crunches. And your legs are stabilizing like you're on uneven ground. You'll burn fat, sure. But more importantly, you'll build function. The kind of strength that actually transfers to life. Most lifters don't realize how bad their posture is until they try a proper carry. They tilt. They lean. They wobble. The carry doesn't allow that. It exposes it, and then forces you to fix it. You can't fake your way through this movement. If your posture's weak, the weight drags you down. If your core's soft, your spine shifts. The only way to survive the set is to become more stable than the load you're carrying. And that's exactly why it's powerful. No machine can replicate what the carry demands. No amount of Abbey crunches can do what 30 seconds of perfect loaded walking can. This is primal. It's real. It builds the kind of silent strength that shows in the way you move, stand, breathe, and recover. But here's the twist. Once you feel this kind of tension in your walk, imagine creating that same full-body effort in a single squat, because that's what comes next. And it's going to change the way you think about leg day forever. 2. Crush grip goblet squat. Full body tension you can't fake. Most people think squats are just for legs. Quads, glutes, maybe a little hamstring burn if you go deep enough. But that version of squatting? That's child's play compared to what happens when you crush a dumbbell in front of your chest and drop into a goblet squat with full body tension dialed to the max. The crush grip goblet squat isn't just a leg exercise, it's a tension factory. You're not holding the dumbbell gently like it's a prop. You're squeezing it like it's trying to escape. That squeeze wakes up your forearms, your biceps, your chest, your shoulders, and that tension doesn't stop. It bleeds down into your core. It wraps around your spine. It locks your entire body into a powerful connected state before you even start squatting. Then the descent begins. Slow, controlled. Elbows inside the knees. Spine vertical. Core braced like a brick wall. The dumbbell isn't just weight. It's your anchor. It keeps your torso upright, helps you sit deeper, and forces every inch of your body to fight for stability. You feel your legs working, sure, but also your arms, your traps, your abs, your mind. And here's what most lifters don't get. This isn't about the load. It's about the intent. You can move lightweight with fake effort, or you can move moderate weight with maximum force and get way more out of every rep. The crush grip goblet squat rewards intent. You bring the squeeze, the focus, the tension, and it brings the change. It also cleans up your form. You can't collapse at the bottom because the weight's right in front of you. You can't lean forward or your spine caves. This movement teaches posture in motion. It rewires your mechanics to stay tall, strong, and grounded under pressure. And that spills over into everything, from lunges to deadlifts, to how you sit and stand in everyday life. And let's not ignore the fat loss side. You're using so many muscles at once that your heart rate spikes within seconds. It's strength work that feels like cardio, not because you're rushing, but because the tension demand is sky high. Every rep becomes a conditioning challenge. Every breath counts. And if this squat turned your whole upper body into an active player, wait till you press with one arm and feel your abs light up like never before. What's coming next is a balancing act in disguise, and it might be the missing piece to your upper body training. 3. Single-arm dumbbell bench press. Core stability meets pressing power. At first glance, it looks like a chest move. One dumbbell, one press, one side at a time. But the moment you lay back, plant your feet, and drive that dumbbell toward the ceiling with just one arm, everything changes. Your body doesn't know this is just a press. It thinks it's a survival drill. The second that weight goes up, your abs fire to prevent rotation. Your obliques light up to stop you from tipping. Your glutes anchor down like you're bracing for impact. This isn't just a pec pump. It's a full-body response to imbalance. And that imbalance? That's where the growth lives. You see, bilateral bench presses hide your weaknesses. Your dominant side takes over, your core checks out, and you never really notice. But the single-arm version? It puts a spotlight on every flaw. It shows you which side is stronger, which shoulder drifts, which hip lifts off the bench. And then it forces you to fix it. The magic is in the instability. Not the kind that puts you at risk, the kind that demands awareness. You have to move slowly. You have to press with control. You have to lock in every inch of your body before you even think about driving that dumbbell up. And when you do it right, the result is deeper muscle activation, cleaner mechanics, and a stronger, more stable torso. You also get joint freedom, no bar to restrict your range, no fixed path that punishes your shoulders. Just one dumbbell moving through a natural arc, allowing your joints to find their own groove. And that freedom translates to better longevity, fewer aches, and cleaner reps over time. And yeah, the fat burn's real too. Because when your core is working overtime, your stabilizers are firing, and your nervous system is fully engaged. Your energy output skyrockets. You're not just pressing weight, you're managing chaos, and that chaos is where your body transforms. But if you thought pressing one dumbbell was intense, just wait till we turn that same concept into a full-body explosion. The next move is where power, coordination, and conditioning collide, and you'll feel it from your feet to your fingertips. 4. Dumbbell thruster, the full-body fat furnace. Some exercises burn, some build. This one does both, and it does it fast. The dumbbell thruster is a brutal combination of squat and overhead press, but what it really is a full-body assault disguised as a simple move. It starts in the hole. Deep squat, elbows high, dumbbells racked at the shoulders. Your glutes stretch, your core tightens, your lungs brace. Then you drive upward like a rocket, using raw leg power to launch the dumbbells overhead in one smooth, violent motion. Sounds simple, but after just a few reps, your body's begging for mercy. Here's the catch. It's not just about strength. It's about timing, coordination, breath control. You've got to generate power from your hips, transfer it through your core, and deliver it through your shoulders, all in one seamless rep. You can't muscle your way through this. You have to move efficiently, or the movement breaks down fast. And that's why the thruster is so devastating. In the best way. It punishes poor form. It exposes weak links. It leaves your legs trembling, your shoulders screaming, and your heart racing like you've been sprinting uphill. In just a few sets, you'll feel like you've done a full workout. And metabolically, you probably have. This is the kind of movement that spikes your heart rate, drives up calorie burn and keeps your body in overdrive long after the set ends. Why? Because you're moving heavy load with speed and precision. That combo creates metabolic stress, mechanical tension, and cardiovascular demand, all at once. It's like strength training, and HIIT had a baby. And here's the part nobody tells you. The thruster fixes your posture too. It teaches you to stay upright under load. It reinforces strong hip drive. It trains your spine to stay neutral through dynamic motion. It's functional, powerful, and honestly, kind of miserable. But that's the point. Growth doesn't live in comfort. And if that got your heart rate flying, wait till you feel what happens when all that power gets funneled into a single explosive hip hinge. Because the next movement wakes up a part of your body that most people haven't trained in years. And it hits hard. 5. Dumbbell swing. The explosive hip power you've been neglecting. Think about it. When's the last time you trained your hips to actually explode? Not grind through reps, not slowly stretch through deadlifts, but snap, fire, and launch with speed. That's what the dumbbell swing demands. And that's why it's one of the most underrated and most powerful movements you can do. Most people treat swings like a cardio drill. They grab a dumbbell, start swinging with their arms, and wonder why it doesn't feel right. But when you do it correctly, it becomes a posterior chain lightning bolt. Glutes, hamstrings, spinal erectors, deep core, all firing in one synchronized pulse of power. It's all about the hinge. The swing isn't a squat. It's not a front raise. It's a violent back and forth whip that begins at the hips and ends with the dumbbell floating, weightless, at chest height. If you're lifting it with your arms, you're doing it wrong. The dumbbell should fly because your hips launched it, like a slingshot releasing tension. And here's why it matters. Modern training has created weak, sleepy hips. We sit too much, we hinge too little, and we wonder why our glutes don't fire or our lower backs feel tight. The swing reactivates what's been dormant. It brings back athletic power. It reconnects you to the engine of your body, the hips. It also hits your conditioning like a freight train. Do 20 good reps and your heart rate spikes like you just ran a sprint. And yet, your joints are safe. There's no pounding, just smooth, explosive, repeatable motion. That means high output, low wear, and tear, and a serious calorie burn to go with it. The dumbbell swing doesn't just build power, it teaches timing, rhythm, control under speed. It forces you to brace your core, maintain posture, and create force from the center outward. And when you dial it in, it's addictive. You'll feel your glutes light up, your hamstrings stretch and snap, and your entire back come online. But if you thought hip power was the missing link, wait until you train one side at a time, pulling against gravity, correcting your posture, and building symmetry where it matters most. Because the next move, it sharpens your back like a blade. 6. Single arm, dumbbell row, posture, symmetry, and raw, pulling power. There's a big difference between pulling weight and owning your pull. The single-arm dumbbell row is where that line gets drawn. It's not just about your back. It's about exposing everything your regular workouts let you hide. Imbalances, posture issues, weak core, they all show up here. Most people go straight for barbell rows or cable machines. And sure, they build some size. But they also allow your dominant side to cheat. They let momentum take over. The single arm row doesn't play that game. One dumbbell, one side at a time. You against gravity, with no place to hide. The setup matters. One hand and one knee on the bench. spine flat like a steel beam, core tight like you're bracing for a punch, and then the pull, slow, controlled, straight toward your hip. Not your chest, not your shoulder, your hip. That path engages your lats the way rows are supposed to. And when you feel that deep squeeze, that full contraction, you'll know you've been missing it. And while your back's working hard, lats, traps, rhomboids, your core is stabilizing like crazy. You're resisting rotation, fighting to stay level. Every rep becomes a battle for posture. Every set becomes a lesson in control. This isn't just muscle work, it's mechanics, it's integrity. It's fixing your foundation from the inside out. Here's the beauty of this movement. It creates symmetry. You start noticing how one side feels tighter, how one shoulder sits higher, how your torso shifts under stress. And once you become aware, you can correct it. That awareness, that's what separates athletes from lifters. You stop chasing the burn and start chasing balance. And let's talk results. A single dumbbell row done right doesn't just build thickness in your back, it tightens your waist. The visual contrast? Wide lats, narrow core. That's the look. That's the physique that turns heads. But even more than that, it's the kind of strength that improves everything. Your deadlift, your posture, your confidence. And once you've built that raw pulling strength, it's time to stack movements. Because the next one? It's a clean, efficient fusion of two classics. And it'll light up your arms, shoulders, and core in a single flowing sequence. 7. Curl to press. Arms, shoulders, and metabolic burn in one clean motion. There's something deeply satisfying about combining two classic moves into one seamless, relentless flow. The curl to press looks basic, just a bicep curl followed by a shoulder press. But when you do it right, with intention, tension, and precision, it becomes a metabolic machine that builds more than just aesthetics. It starts with control, not momentum. You don't swing the dumbbells, you curl them slowly, squeezing your biceps like they owe you money. Then, without resting, you transition, smooth, tight, no pause, into an overhead press. That flow from curl to press isn't just about moving weight, it's about owning the transition. That's where most people lose form, and that's where you gain muscle. Your biceps, shoulders, traps, even your upper chest. All of them activate in that motion. But here's the secret. Your core is the unsung hero. It braces to keep you upright. It stabilizes the load as it travels upward. It resists the urge to arch, lean, or shift. You're not just pressing overhead, you're pressing through the ground, with every muscle supporting the move. And because there's no rest between the curl and the press, your heart rate doesn't drop. You're stacking mechanical tension, joint stability, and cardiovascular demand in every single rep. That's metabolic gold. You're not just chasing the pump, you're chasing performance. And your body feels it. Fast. Done right, the curl to press becomes a posture fix too. It reinforces tall, strong movement. It teaches your shoulders to stabilize at the top. It makes you move like an athlete, not just a lifter. And visually, it sculpts your arms, shapes your delts, and sharpens your mid-back all in one movement. This is what efficiency looks like. No wasted time. No isolated fluff. Just smart movement, full body coordination, and real output. It's not about doing more. It's about doing better. And when your body gets used to this kind of seamless force transfer, everything else starts to level up. And now that you've mastered coordination and control, it's time to unlock a movement that does the unthinkable. hits your chest and back in the same exact rep. The next one? It's old school, forgotten, and absolutely essential. 8. Dumbbell pullover. Chest and back united in one forgotten movement. It used to be a staple, a go-to in the golden era. Every serious lifter had it in their program, the dumbbell pullover. But somewhere along the way, it got lost, replaced by machines, ignored by trends, forgotten by modern training. And that's a shame, because this movement does what no other does. It trains your chest and your back at the same time. Picture this: one dumbbell held above your chest, arms extended, elbows slightly bent. Then, slowly, you lower the weight back, not just behind your head, but through a deep, controlled arc. You feel your pecs stretch, your lats fire, your rib cage open, your core shake. And somewhere in that stretch, you realize this isn't a simple accessory lift. The dumbbell pullover is a bridge, front and back, push and pull. It connects your chest and your lats through a full range of motion that most exercises completely miss. You're not just training muscles, you're unlocking movement. You're expanding your thoracic spine, opening your shoulders, improving your breathing, all while building upper body density that shows. It's also one of the best-kept secrets for posture. That deep stretch? It counteracts hours of sitting. That lat engagement? It supports your scapular control. That chest expansion? It trains your breathing muscles. The pullover doesn't just build mass, it builds mechanics. And that's a different kind of strength. Most people butcher it. They go too heavy, yank the dumbbell back, rush through the motion. But when you slow it down, feel the stretch, guide the arc, keep your core tight, the pullover becomes brutally effective. Every rep is a challenge. Every inch is tension. And when it's over, you feel like you've done something your body actually needed. And let's not forget the energy demand. That much stretch, that much muscle activation, that much control, it lights up your metabolism. You're not bouncing weight. You're moving through space with intention. And your body responds to that. More muscle, less fat, better posture, all from one lonely dumbbell. So here we are. 8 movements, 8 forgotten tools. No machines, no fluff, just raw, efficient training that brings your body back to life and asks one thing in return: that you show up and give it everything. You've just seen 8 dumbbell movements almost nobody uses, and yet they might be exactly what your body's been craving. These aren't trends. They're not tricks. They're not just ways to switch things up. They're tools. Tools that build strength, burn fat, improve posture, fire up your core, and bring real-world function back into your training. No gimmicks, just movements that work. Because, let's be honest, it's not about how many hours you spend in the gym. It's about how you spend those hours. Most routines waste your time. These exercises respect your time. They demand focus, effort, and control. And in return, they deliver results you can feel, see, and use. They also demand honesty. These moves expose weaknesses. They challenge balance. They force you to slow down and reconnect with your body. That discomfort? That's where progress lives. That's where strength is born. Not just the kind that shows up in a pump, the kind that shows up in life. So now the question is simple. What are you going to do with this? You've got the blueprint. You've got the breakdown. You've got the opportunity to train smarter, harder, and with more purpose than ever before. What's the one thing you're changing in your training after this? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk. If this video gave you at least one aha moment, Drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's keep building this together. And if you're serious about results, don't just save this video. Come back to it. Rewatch, relearn, retest these moves. Your body will thank you for it.